Tell me the truth. I know we've gone our separate ways. Can we get love back? I know we've had our better days. Can we get love back?
Okay.
Can we get love back?
Oh, we're back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the day with my cast of characters over here on Work From Home Network TV. We are part of Power Hour Live, getting your day and especially right now, your week kicked off with positivity. My name is Anthony Michael Russo. That's my handle right there. So if you want to follow me, I'm a purveyor of positivity, and we have this great show that we've started with all four of us. I'm in the Dallas area, aka DFW, started something called #Be the Change, and it's all about being the change we wish to see in the world around us. I'm going to kick it over to NY Sizzle. Aaron, what up?
That's me. Hey, everybody. Welcome to New York City, or as close as you're probably going to get to it for a while. My name is Aaron Smalls. I'm a TV live event host. I'm an actor and a DJ, and I'm not doing any of that right now because of coronavirus. But here's something that is very important that you do need to know about me. Goldfish are delicious. Over to you, Liza.
I love that you're saying that goldfish are delicious. I agree. I also think Sour Patch Kids, they're really making a strong comeback. Hey, everyone. I'm Liza Monet Morales. I'm an actor, a TV host, and a content creator in both English and Spanish, and a best-selling author. But like Aaron, I'm not doing any of those things right now. But what I am doing is connecting with all of you at home, including the person cutting my grass outside. So you all might hear that sound a little bit out there. But yeah, that's what's going on here in LA. Super pumped. Y'all can follow me there, XOXO Liza, on all things social. And I'm all about spreading love and positivity. So over to you, Curtis, in Atlanta.
Yeah, so I'm here. I'm excited and just excited, but a little sad that this isn't going on anymore right now. Even though I have my credentials, it's got postponed. But anyway, we're gonna keep it moving. I'm happy, and yeah, that's Curtis.
Curtis, that's actually called Bonaboo right now.
Ooh.
Bonaboo.
I don't have either.
Meanwhile, Aaron over there was fishing for compliments. Okay, done with the dad jokes today.
Let's reel that back in. Let's reel it back in.
Which means, guess what time it is? It is time for our headline of the day. Everybody's favorite. So, ladies and gents, the world has gone streaming. Easter has gone streaming, and Saturday Night Live has gone streaming. So that's our headline, is the fact that we are transitioning to this hopefully temporary new way of life. I actually helped the man, the myth, the legend, Curtis's dad, host his Easter Sunday service. And then I watched the night before that, Saturday Night Live, which was all pre-recorded, which kind of takes away the whole live aspect. I kind of wanted to see some mistakes. So ultimately, headline of the day is we want you to comment what you thought about Saturday Night Live, about Easter going virtual. And yeah, so what do you guys think?
Well,
yeah, go ahead, Curtis. Take it away.
I was just going to say thank you, Anthony, for helping the small churches grow online, because there's a lot of things in all different places of worship that are going online. So that's a big thing that I'm glad that we're able to do with our network, is to help those churches or places of worship go online, so that way people can still connect to something that they might see as, but something they see as important, and a great way for them to stay centered. So I want to say thank you. And I'm actually going to watch the SNL episode tonight. So I don't care if you tell me what happened.
It was hit or miss. Liza, I know you and I were watching it together. What did you think?
Yes, it was great. We were watching it together apart. Fun times. And so what's really great about that, though, much to what you're saying, Curtis, I think that the underlying streamline, if you will, through it all, is the fact that it is finding new ways to adapt and stay connected. And so I really appreciate not only the churches, but some of the shows out there, as Anthony mentioned, and I have this little graphic there. Zoom definitely was the big winner with Saturday Night Live going live this weekend. Some of these sketches were really funny, but I too was a little bit disappointed that the whole nature of it is the live aspect, just like we have here on the Work From Home Network TV. So, Lauren Michaels, if you're listening, we'd love to have you. We'd love to collab and show you how you can up your live game and still have it all, because they had the same amount of people that we can have on our show. So I was like, yo, we can collab. We're ready. We're ready for you. Because I think that really is just a really big part of it. We'll talk a little bit more about it during Quarantine and Chill, but it's having that connectivity, much to what Curtis is saying with the two phones. That's still a really important aspect right now. While we're social distancing, it doesn't mean that we have to socially isolate.
True.
Yeah. Smalls, what do you think?
I think
great. All right.
I'm just not a big sketch comedy person. So although Saturday Night Live is a huge staple of a show, and it does take place in New York and all of that, I just feel like every time I watch it, it makes me like kind of snare a little bit. But now it's perfect that I do the snare, because it's no longer Saturday Night Live, it's Saturday Night Recorded. So now the snare is appropriate for the show.
Well, I mean, I will just take up for them for a second. There's a shelter in place in New York with over how many cases. So if they have to record it to be safe, I don't mind them calling it live, because somebody is probably live pushing the button.
Yeah, that's a gray area.
Just
the last thing I will say is on the headline one, what is it called? The night, what is it called when they do the hosting of the news?
Oh, yeah. You mean the
Weekend Update?
Weekend Update. Thank you. Which whatever
that was awkward.
That was super awkward. And it's interesting. Chi said the comment, "You have no idea how difficult this is without a live audience." Welcome to being a radio host, gentlemen. I was like, man, dude, you just learned you actually have to be funny. Moving on, ladies and gents, comment. Tell us what you think about the world going streaming. That has been the headline
of the day.
Word. All right.
I'm funny without an audience.
Debatable. Aaron,
they can't do it.
Take us across America, please.
That's right. We're moving into our very next segment here that we like to call Across America. That's right. Here in Across America, we are skipping across America, possibly even the globe, to find out what's going on in your city, your state, or even your country. We want a truthful but positive outlook on what is going on there. So again, this segment is Across America. And our first step as we go across America, Anthony, we're going to jump to you over there in Texas. What's going on in Tejas, my friend?
So actually, we do have some updates. Governor Abbott last week did comment that he is now creating and scripting the plan on how we are going to go back to work in Texas, meeting criticism as well as praise. So we will see if he makes sure to make that long enough away. I did have one concern. So for Easter Sunday, I decided to get in my car and stay safe in my bubble and drive around and see what was going on. So I went around White Rock Lake. There was a ton of people out. So the positive in this is everybody was keeping their social distancing. And this is the friendliest set of people I have ever seen in my whole entire life. So when this comes out, I think it's going to remind a lot of people of New York after 9/11, where it's just we're nice again, which is definitely a positive we can find in all of this. Lastly, my concern is as I was driving through all the big homes, there was a whole crap ton of parties going on for Easter Sunday, which was quite disappointing. I'm like, I don't think you guys get it. So we'll see what happens in about 2 to 3 weeks. And that's what's going on in Dallas.
Yeah, I talked about it the other week that those eggs, they're going to open them up and it's going to be like, surprise, coronavirus.
I knew you were going to do that.
Tiny Cardi B's inside each one of those eggs as they open. And she's going to be like, coronavirus. Hang on. Gotta have my Cardi nails.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, so let's keep it rocking. We're going over to the ATL. Mr. Polo himself. Curtis, what's going on over there, man?
It's like Carlton.
Polo to Don. Don't be hating, player. I'm in a sports kind of mood. This is the tennis U.S. Open in New York that I'm hoping is not canceled because, I love tennis. I'm an avid tennis player on Wii Sports. So what's going down in Atlanta, again, thank you, Anthony, for helping us have a virtual Easter, which is great. And a lot of Easter, a lot of churches had a big Resurrection Day virtual. One cool thing I saw a lot of churches go big. Passion City actually had Sadie Robertson, which Huff is her new last name, but that's the Duck Dynasty's daughter, which is really cool. And they also had Tim Tebow. That was pretty cool. And then Tori Kelly came out and did her Shelter in Place song for Resurrection Day, which was really cool to see. So it's awesome that even with all these times, we're able to still stay connected to our faith. Whatever faith you believe in, but also being able to share in some type of fellowship, because that's really what the biggest thing is of those gatherings, is to share with each other. Really quick, a couple things in Atlanta. The Georgia World Congress Center, which is one of the largest Congress centers in the world, will be looking like it'll be turned into a hospital to be able to help with what's going down. And that's really about it. I didn't really go out in Atlanta I'm down in the South. And so it's just been crazy. Oh, we did have some crazy tornadoes for the entire state. That was something I have never seen. The entire state almost of Georgia was on a tornado watch or warning. And so, hopefully people weren't too much affected by that. But if they are, please, if you can find somebody that you can help them. But yeah, that's where everything's going down with Atlanta. And I did see your Tebow, Anthony. Thank you for showing us, the Tebow. Can we show that? Let me jump in there. There we go. So that's everything in Atlanta. Where the prayers pray. I mean, where the players pray.
Oh!
I don't know. It's a lot of different things.
Where the players pray.
Where the players pray, like Tebow.
I like
hey!
That's good. You need to make that into a T-shirt.
I mean, I probably know a good 300,000 people that'll buy that. It's,
We're going to keep on rock move. We're moving from the East Coast to the West Coast. We are jumping over to Liza. Liza, what's going on over there?
What is up, everyone? So yeah, this weekend, much like everyone else, obviously Easter went remote. It was interesting to see not only the church services that were happening online, but I also was pretty proud of my neighbors there was one artist that we had. She works at one of the studios. She actually was going around the neighborhood and drawing little eggs made out of chalk, so that if the kids wanted to get in the car and drive around and see, that could be part of like their Easter egg hunt. So I thought that was actually super sweet to actually see. One of the other things also that we have going on as the masks have become law here in LA is more people really coming together to make masks for their neighbors, offering them to give to frontline workers, but also really even offering them for the people that are out in the field. So I just love seeing all these communities come together and figuring out ways that they can help one another during this time. So it's been great. I think the biggest thing was Coachella, if you will. We were all on our couches this weekend, what should have been the first weekend of Coachella, and everybody had to very quickly start making that shift. So Treller Fest was one of the ones that was on, as well as Live Aid, which again, we'll talk about later. But yeah, that definitely kept me super entertained and excited, I should say, because of some of the other things that we're planning here at the Work From Home Network TV for all of you. So yeah, keep it rocking. And one final thing, if you all aren't already aware, that Instagram has launched a new sticker, and it is the Thank You Hour sticker. So much like the Stay at Home sticker and the thank you to the frontliners, the Thank You Hour actually goes live for everyone at 6 p.m. their time. And then at 7 p.m. it's actually played so that everyone can see all those stories collectively, and you can thank specific people. So I thanked all of my co-founders, as well as the people that brought my birthday to life last week, and a bunch of other people in my neighborhood. So I definitely advocate for you all to try the new thank you sticker on Instagram as well.
Very cool. Gotta love that. Here's a thank you sticker.
Talking to my agent. That's a lie.
He got news for you. You don't have any work right now.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. So reassuring.
Update, day 37 of quarantine. Curtis, no jobs. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Aaron. Take it away.
So what's actually kind of interesting about that, I'm going to bring you back, Anthony. What's actually kind of interesting about what you said is that I have actually had auditions happen.
Mm-hmm.
How is my question?
I'm not even gonna go to the punchline.
Was it gonna be a casting couch joke? I know that's where you were going right there.
It was gonna get bad, but I have no idea. Go there. We're gonna skip ahead and talk to you guys about what's going on around America just a little bit more. Folks, the humble phone call, it's making a comeback. That's right. Verizon said that it is reporting that on average, it got 800 million wireless calls a day during the week. That's bonkers. That's more than double the number made on Mother's Day, which is historically one of the busiest calling days of the year. But those numbers have skyrocketed, and I strongly believe that it's a lot of people calling their mothers to ask for money. That's what I think is actually happening with these calls. I'm personally very excited to get on Amazon and order one of those landlines that has one of the cords that stretches like 20 feet, just so I can clothesline people if they're running around in my apartment. Curtis, what is happening? What am I seeing on your screen?
I was doing just a live playback so you can see it.
I love it.
You keep going. I didn't want to interrupt. So now, no, sorry.
I love that. Also, happening here in New York, we've got the Battle of the Italians. That's right. Mayor Bill de Blasio and Governor Cuomo, they're just back and forth, just bickering like school kids about the school closings. Mayor Bill de Blasio was like, hey, on Friday he made a decision to shut down New York schools, 1,800 public schools, until July. Cuomo was like, nah, bro, that's my job. You don't get to decide that. So de Blasio pulled this move. On Saturday when he was going to make the announcement, moments before he made the announcement, he calls Cuomo. He calls him up, and I'm sure it probably just rang once, and then he hung up. And then he texted him, and he was like, hey, bro, I'm making this announcement. And then that's all he sent out. So I thought that was hysterical that he was like, hey, do I have permission to do this? I'll call you. Sorry, couldn't get you. I'll send you a text. So I thought that was hysterical.
Hashtag communication.
Yeah, communication. But other than that, here in New York, Nathan's hot dogs on Coney Island are still the best hot dogs around. If you don't believe it, fight me, bro. Challenge me. Let's find out what that's all about. Broadway is still broad, and my rent is still extremely expensive. But that's pretty much what's going on across America. And thank you guys for tuning in to this segment called Across America.
So one question.
Yes.
I actually called the governor myself too, and it went straight to voicemail. So that's why I definitely pushed out my press release to let everybody know that I was going to close schools at my house. So there's no more homeschooling for the rest of the year. Just to let you guys know that.
Wait, but I also wanted to know, is that the new version, since everybody's home, is that the new version of New Phone Who Dis? Being like, listen, it rang once. We didn't pick that.
We know you ain't got nothing.
You
ain't doing nothing else. You ain't doing nothing else. You should have picked up. That's why I called you twice. I called you twice. I literally called you twice. iPhone and Android. So there's no
not my fault. Only rang once. That's on you.
Sorry, Anthony.
I just love it because you'd be on the phone and you'd hear that click and you'd be like, Mom, get off of the phone. I'm on the phone. Get off of the phone, Mom. So sorry. I'm so sorry.
I called you on BlackBerry too, dog. Like, let's go. And Nokia. So there's no excuse. Like, look at this thing. I called you on this.
Yep.
All
right, let's go. Let's move on.
To our very next segment. Anthony, Curtis, you guys take it over there.
Yeah, it's time for our Be the Change moment of the day. All right, ladies and gents, what Be the Change is all about is you know, spreading positivity, people that take action in the world around them. When I started Be the Change, he's checking. Or is that a lip balm? What is that?
No, this is the mini drum. I'm just doing what your mom does, but mini style. So when you talk, it's got great importance. Go ahead.
So the whole concept is make sure that we are sharing stories of positivity of people that are not just on the interwebs telling people what to do, but actually taking action in the lives and the world around them to make the world a better place. So with that, one of my awesome co-hosts, or part of our team, Aaron Smalls, had somebody that he nominated and, of course, was a perfect person for our Be the Change ambassador of the day. Smalls, Who is it?
Before I introduce her, I love how the logo is kind of right here on the shirt. It makes it look like we now have branded sweatshirts. Mm-hmm. So that's gonna be our next thing, is our apparel line.
Or those are nipple covers for Cuomo. Moving on.
One or the other. All right. With that said, I'm gonna bring on a very special guest making a change here in New York. Welcome to the show, Miss Tiffany Owen.
Hey.
Hi guys.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hello. Welcome, Tiffany. How's it going over there? It's a gross day here in New York. How's it going?
Well, I live about 1.5 miles away from you, so it still is pretty gross here as well.
Yeah, I looked out the window this morning and I was like, is it raining and snowing? How is that possible? But no, it's just raining.
Yeah, it's just bleak and windy. It's pretty gross. Kind of a gross day.
So you've started an incredible, I don't know if it's a foundation or a cause, but you're supporting something amazing. And I'll throw it up here on the screen. We've got a little graphic for it. Masks for Healthcare Heroes. We'll pop that up again in a second, but tell us a little bit about what you've created here.
So I started a fundraising campaign called Masks for Healthcare Heroes. And the point is simply to raise money for some of the underprivileged hospitals in Brooklyn and the Bronx that are getting hit the hardest and aren't able to afford the supplies that they need. I had a friend a couple weeks ago reach out to me, she lives in LA, and say, hey, I have a supplier in China who has a connection to be able to get N95s and other, the whole variety of masks. Do you know anyone who needs it? And I was completely flabbergasted. That's like saying, I have $1 million. Do you know anyone who would be interested in having any of it? So I reached out to every single friend that I have in the medical industry and asked, if this would be something that would be helpful for them. And what really surprised me is the difference in answers that I got. I had one friend say that her hospital had everything that they needed and that they had been promised that they would continue to do so to, have all the protective gear they need. I have a friend who works at Sloan Kettering on the Upper East Side, said something similar. So basically they're accepting donations, but they're not, in a dire need. As opposed to a friend that I have that works at Allen New York Presbyterian Hospital up in Inwood, which is like across from the Bronx, who said that she'd been working 20 days straight, 12 to 16-hour days, and has been forced to rewear surgical masks, which, just FYI, are only about 50 to 80 cents a piece. Like, they're not the N95s that are, really a great protector against, or the best protector there is, I guess, against, COVID-19, and proceeded to send me a picture of her locker where she had 8 used surgical masks hanging there, including, one that was made out of cloth. And I just was completely appalled. It's crazy to me that even in a time like this, in a pandemic, the areas that are getting hit the hardest are the ones that don't have the funding and that no one is caring about or is helping out to be able to get them the protective gear that they need, which is called PPE. So I just started a fundraiser. I mean, I don't have any medical experience or background. But I decided I could put together, a GoFundMe page and start a campaign to just raise money to buy masks and gowns and things like that for, these really poor hospitals that are really just being hit the hardest.
So I'm going to throw the flyer up here again. If you can just kind of walk us through like where they can go, how they can support, how they can get involved to help out with your cause and what you're doing. So I'm going to pop that up there and just let you kind of explain that a little bit more for us.
Yeah, so down at the bottom, it's a little bit hard to read on this screen, but it's just the GoFundMe.com/F/Save Healthcare Heroes. And I'm seeing that this has the bit.ly, but to just go straight to the GoFundMe page would be even better. Super easy. You can just click the donate button online. You can do so anonymously if you'd like, or you can, put in your name, write a message, something like that. Basically, it's just, we can't continue to wait on the government to get our healthcare providers the things that they need because it's not happening. So, any amount that you can donate, even reposting it, sharing the word. I mean, I really appreciate you guys even having me on to just kind of, spread the word that that everyday people like you and me need to step up because they're, people are just dying and not being able to be protected.
Yeah. That's what's awesome, Tiffany, and that's kind of the point of this whole thing. And we're sharing stories that are large and then small scale, because ultimately a whole bunch of small scale stories starts to create that same viral concept, and it's perpetual. And people realize, oh, like you said, I'm not in the healthcare field necessarily, but I can do something to help. And that's the whole point: is we can take action. We're seeing that in the people in our world right now. Is people like you are going, I'm not just going to sit around. I'm going to do something to make the world a better place while we are going through this together. So thank you, Tiffany. That's awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Definitely make sure you guys go to Tiffany's handle. The link is also in her bio on her IG, and that's right down there at Tiffany D. Owen. So once again, Tiffany, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you to our Be the Change ambassador of the day. All right, we got our crew back. Curtis, right now, I think there's a rabid animal outside of his house. He was just messaging me. I don't know what it is. So you know what? There's something going outside. I don't know what's going on. He said it's getting crazy out there.
To make masks. He's so excited to help Tiffany with what she's doing because she was so awesome. She's like, all right, that raised my regular hero game too.
See, you did positivity. I said there was a rabbit squirrel. Cool. So with that said, let's have Liza take us around the internet. Liza, what's up?
Yes, it is just that time to go around the internet. Whoa! And apparently that brought us Curtis back. Amazing. Hi, Curtis.
Yeah, sorry. There was a commotion outside, and apparently instead of it's because you can't go to a baby shower. Apparently, my awesome neighbors down the street decided all their friends to drive by in their cars, big honking their horns, and forget that people live in this subdivision. So as that's happening, I was called to do my manly duties, to run downstairs and figure out what's going on. And I had my phones ready. They called the police.
I'm glad you specified.
It is a boy. It is a boy.
I'm glad you specified your manly duties, and it didn't have to do with her going into childbirth early. So that's good that you didn't have to,
I'm not 6 feet distance from that. So,
Oh my God.
Shotgun.
Well, luckily for us, we don't have to keep 6 feet distance when we go around the internet. Though I do hope that when we do that, we do have clean phones because you can cross-contaminate very quickly when you're outside.
Very true.
That said, as we're seeing people continue to get used to the stay-at-home initiative, many theme songs we've seen written already. They're going viral on TikTok, viral on so many things. And this one in particular, I found very fascinating. This is Rose Byrne. She's an actress very well known for a variety of roles. And this one was great because she decided to go in character and just really compose something that I think captures what we're all thinking.
¿Qué más pues gordos? Soy María José. Esta canción la compuse y se llama Cuarentena.
I love the warm up and the song itself, especially because she isn't normally a Spanish speaker, is that it came up and that she's basically calling everyone fat because she realizes that everyone's gaining the quarantine 19 and just made a lovely chant for us. It's kind of like, what are those monks when they chant out there to get enlightenment? I really felt in line with her chanting. So big shout out to Rose Burns for keeping us going during this time as we all continue to get creative. Now, some people have turned to polls, and really kind of understanding since Easter was going to be remote. A lot of us have little love bugs at home that don't quite understand why Easter is, happening the way it is? Where is the Easter Bunny? So, of course, I decided to poll my audience and basically find out who we should blame it on. So the question was, who do we think we should be on the same page? Are we telling the kids the Easter Bunny got coronavirus, or that Carol Baskins killed him? So out of my audience, it was really fantastic. We had over 2,000 people say, basically, let's just blame it on Corona. Though we did have, oh, look, I love the Merry Easter. Though we did have some holding out that, gosh darn it, Carol Baskins is behind this just as much. Also, apparently behind that really cool sweater, Aaron, which we're going to have to talk about in a second.
Hey, just so you know, a rabbit does fit through a meat grinder. Moving on.
Also, tastes great.
Okay, so let's make sure we don't have that on your profile, because one of the other things that's come out is in quarantine dating is what we all expected to come out soon enough. That is right, people. Quarantine Together is a real site, quarantinetogether.com, as well as an app. The founder bought it at the beginning of March, and just a few days later launched it. And believe it or not, everyone is on it and having apparently a good time. Now, what's really interesting about this is before they started, and Anthony, I think you'll like this, is the question that they ask you is, did you wash your hands? Once you say yes, they will pair you up with someone. If you say no, you don't get paired, you don't get to play. So quarantine dating, quarantine together. Would you guys be together apart? Do you think that this is something you do?
So I've actually checked out this app. I'm just kidding. My girlfriend's behind me. But say that I did. I wonder if there is is there a video enlargement feature?
Wow, we went there during daytime.
Usually in normal times I don't date around, but since gotta have a couple phones, got a couple options. So
we get it. You have 2 phones, Curtis. We get
18 phones, but I'm just saying it's different dates.
I think it's a clever idea. I've seen some of the weird ads, and it is it's different. It's something, and somebody's making a buck off of it. So kudos.
Kudos to you. I think the big thing that they're really relying on the fact is that people just want to connect, right? So a lot of people just want to actually even just be able to talk. It's not like you could say, hey, come over to my place, or I'll come over to yours, because really you can't do that, right? So it has been interesting. I thought it was very quirky that that's the opening question, kind of like the league has their like funny quirk for every day is asking everyone, did you wash your hands? So it's a great reminder in case some people still out there don't know to wash their hands. So fun times on that. Now, moving right along the
real quick, just to interrupt. I'm not on that site because I'm actually on Farmers Only. That's me on Farmers Only.
I can't.
And you city folks just don't
understand.
Liza, can I say my joke? Can I have permission?
Do it.
Okay.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Hey, just because you can't come over doesn't mean you can't come.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna mute you.
We do have kids on today.
There we go.
Have kids on today. Yep, and he's muted officially.
Muted.
All right, sorry, kids. Oops. So that being said, one of the things that we're also really getting to see a lot of people doing out there is the understanding of how do we use technology to connect and also raise money for good things. And so we did see that with a variety of shows that were planned and that we'll be speaking a little bit later on today. But one person who I think we all know as the man behind, getting your drink on and your dance on, Mr. P. Diddy, who now officially has changed his name to Love, actually went on and had an amazing, basically a P. Diddy dance-a-thon, if you will, to raise money. Now, I just want to show one of the people that he had on his guest out of the many. He did have Drake on. They did do the Tootsie Slide. He had several others, but this shows you that you can be friends with your ex. He actually had on J-Lo and with her man, A-Rod. So check it out.
I know this because I don't think you know this. This guy right here is your biggest fan from the Bad Boy era. You and Mace are his heroes. Okay? It's like every party we do, anything we do is like, put on Puffy and Mace. Put on Puffy and Mace. So you're going to have to do one of those joints.
Yeah. Okay, so what song you want to hear, A-Rod?
More Money, More Problems. Anything with Mace in it. Anything with Mace in it.
Give me your top 2. Mace, More Money, More Problems.
We
gonna go Money.
So I love that Jennifer didn't even let A-Rod answer, even though she's saying that he's the big fan, which I thought was hysterical. They do go on to actually put on More Money, More Problems, the remix, and then they end up dancing. Puffy ends up having to call A-Rod out to actually start dancing and not just let Jennifer dance on his lap. It was kind of hysterical. The party.
What? No, sorry.
the party went on and people were like, you should go back to Puffy. You should. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? But that was definitely just the start of how viral this went. It was on all day. And as mentioned, they raised $4 million from everybody watching at home, sending it through the Cash App. So I'm not sure how much Cash App will be keeping for their transaction fee. But, you know, he did what he could just to put it all together. And one of the people that he had is someone that really has become, as we have seen, the face of coronavirus. Indeed, he ended up having Miss Cardi B, who we featured on Friday, and he also had Offset on with her, who we featured on Friday as, you know, being a hero in many ways, as she's partnered with Fashion Nova and is committed with Fashion Nova to give away $1 million over the next 42 days by doing $1,000 an hour. So P. Diddy and Cardi and Offset had a good time, not only dancing, but they also talked about the importance of voting this coming November. So I thought that was really cool. And before we go to our next one, though, I know, Curtis, you also were watching. So were there any moments in particular that you really loved from the P. Diddy dance-a-thon and, you know, sharing really the importance of why everybody was tuning in?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I saw was Sierra and Russell Wilson. So it was really cool to have all these different celebrities tuning in just on Instagram. None of them were asking for recognition. They just called in, gave some words of wisdom, some encouragement, and then had some fun. And I think that was a cool thing because people just need to and they're all at home too. So it's not like they're like at a club. Like,
let me check my calendar.
But that was the cool thing I liked about it. He also had Snoop on, which is dope. And then he just had it's Diddy, so he's got everybody. So
yeah, it was really great just being like, he would think of someone or he would ask the audience, like, who do you want? And then they would shout her name. And, you know, he just flexed like, oh, okay, cool. Let me go ahead and text him. Hey. And then, you know, moments later, you would see them pop on. And so the overall theme of raising the money, as I mentioned, was for the frontline workers. But he really wanted to sound the alarm. And that's what he did this weekend with Revolt, with the fact that African-Americans, unfortunately, are the ones who are being hit the hardest with coronavirus and are dying in very large numbers. And so he really wants to bring awareness to that and is asking for both the African-American and the Latino community, who's number 2 in numbers, to come together. And so I know he isn't our champion for Be the Change of the Day, but I do want to shout him out for being a regular hero and being the change in his own way, because he's really just has shown that he's being a leader. So I appreciate that. And our final video shows that again from our girl Cardi, coming in with her, I don't know if she's going to start a collection of towels as new headwear, but every time we've seen her in these last videos, she's always wearing a towel. And in this particular one, she went off on another famous Cardi rant with a purpose. If it wants to play.
This had the nerve to tweet about how much views he got, more views than football and the Bachelorette and shit. Why you care about that? Niggas is dying. We're dying. We're dying. We're dying. Coronavirus. These doctors don't even have the answer, bro. These doctors is wearing motherfucking garbage bags.
So she goes on to talk also about the nurses wearing garbage bags and really blasting on Trump too. Instead of focusing on him having more tweets than The Bachelor, is for him to start giving answers and really helping, obviously, in New York City and around the country. So very interesting to see her chatting it up, but politically, because no one is expecting Cardi to be political, and she really has. You know, in addition to giving money and encouraging people to vote, she really has become a face. But I'm saying that the towels as a new accessory, that might become a thing. Boys, before we finish up.
Yeah, I was just say really quick. She did mention on the Diddy Dance-a-thon that she's not for anybody until she sees somebody with a plan of action that will start to benefit people because she's Afro-Latina. So that's something that's also great, because I feel like a lot of people just jump on a bandwagon, whether it's on which side of political, and I never am one to tell you what you need to believe. And so that's really cool. I like to see that she is actually going to do her own research and make her own decision, but she is encouraging people to vote, which is great, because that is American right.
I completely agree. Well, with that, that has been Around the Internet. All right, Eric, off to you.
I love it. Moving into our next segment here, as we move from Around the Internet into other people's positivity. That's right. That's what this next segment is all about. It's all about other people's positivity, positive thoughts, positive work, positive words, and positive actions. Sometimes it'll be me sharing positivity with you. Sometimes it'll be me bringing on guests. And today is exactly one of those days where I'm going to be bringing on some amazing guests. And this next group knows that family is what it's all about, especially in times like these. With just about 30,000 subscribers on their YouTube page and over 7 million views. Here, joining us on Work From Home Network TV for our Other People's Positivity section. Ladies and gentlemen, home, go bananas for Majula Productions.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's up? What's up? We got to squeeze in here. There we go. Good to see everybody. This is awesome. Hey, Eric, good to see you, pal.
Hello.
Hey, guys, it's good to see you. How are you guys holding up over there?
You know, we're holding up pretty well. I mean, trying to just get creative here at home. Everyone's kind of in the same boat, and we've just, I mean, from making churros yesterday to watching new movies, it's been pretty great.
So, a lot of fun, a lot of different kind of days. You know, challenging days, but thank God we like each other, so that works out really
exactly.
well.
And I know a lot of families right now are starting to struggle, and they're kind of going through it. So before we talk about how you guys are making it through and how you guys are staying positive, just a quick round robin of who we're seeing and what Majula is.
Sure.
Yes. So I'm Matthew.
I'm Jennifer.
I'm Gemaline.
I'm Joshua.
And I'm Jose.
And we are
the Vasquez family.
Vasquez family. We're a family of artists. 4 out of 5 of us are actors as well. We are involved in the TV and film industry.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we just 2 years ago we started to get really serious on YouTube, doing reaction videos, and it's been a blast. And we just love to get creative and try to expand our creative limits, I guess you could say. And being at home
it's been a great time, man. We really have challenged each other to just put ourselves out there, to share our love with movies on our channel and share our love for each other, you know, and share our creativity. So it's been a lot of growing in the last couple, especially since all of this started. We've had to really look toward each other and improve on everything we were doing. It's been cool.
I love that. So Majula, that's such a unique name.
Yeah.
What is that? Does it stand for something? Is it a?
Truthfully, honestly, I don't remember how it truly started. It started as like a combination of all our names.
Right.
I mean, from letters to little abbreviations. But then later on, for those of you that don't know, we are a family of faith. And Christianity is a big part of us. I mean, we found out later on that it also stands for making Jesus' light visible.
Okay.
So you know, spread the light is like a big I guess motto, slogan of ours on our channel.
The light is
spread the light, yeah.
Spread the light. So
happiness,
spread the light, making Jesus' light visible, and then just a fusion of the family.
Our names, yeah.
So yeah, and it just kind of stuck.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a family, I know a lot of families are starting to get at each other right now. But you guys, not just in these times that we're in the past, you guys have always been so connected and so positive and so uplifting. How are you guys doing it? I know a lot of families out there are thinking, how are you guys smiling and saying positive? What's this for you guys? Fill us in.
Well, I think I'm going to blame Jenny for that. When we first started out, she made a very clear declaration that she wanted us to always be with our kids. One way or another, one of us was going to be with our kids. And we became parents very young, but she was so adamant about making that a real thing that just we always found with God's help, we found a way to always have one of us with our kids.
Yeah.
A lot of family helped us out. And I think we've been growing up together.
Yeah. And the truth is, I think people oftentimes see the positive side, you know, us smiling and us having a great time. And thankfully we do, but there is a lot of growing. And
we have our days.
We have our moments.
Yeah.
Even in these times of quarantine, you know, we've had to find time of just self-isolation. Like each one of us goes to our own corner, journals, you know, watches, whatever we need to do to kind of have our own time, or else, like you're saying, we will bite each other's heads off, you know?
I will say there is to an advantage that we're actors, because it it is so crucial that we actually listen to each other.
Right.
You know, when we talk about being an actor, you have to be a good listener, a good reactor. Well, man, listen, that's life. We've got to really listen to each other here, because there are times where it's like, yo, you need some time. I think I need some time. You need to go do your thing. I got to do mine. But there are also times where, and that's when we bring our cameras in, and we love to sit around the TVs, share movies, board games, and we love being together, but we also know when it's time to be away from each other. That's been very educational.
So a good balance. Good balance.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love that. Well, if you guys are watching at home, definitely make sure you guys visit my friends here at imaginative-productions.com. You can see all kinds of information about their acting and their YouTube videos and their family reaction videos. And it is absolutely incredible, the energy and the positivity that you guys bring, not just in this day and age, but always throughout your life. And I truly admire that. And so I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show, shining your light and making it visible here on Work From Home Network TV, and for being a part of other people's positivity. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank
you guys,
you,
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, man. Love you, dude. Take care of yourself, brother.
love those guys. If you guys have anything positive going on in your life, or you know some positive people, or you just want to share something, make sure you drop it down there in the comments, whether you're watching live or you're rewatching it later on. But once again, this has been Other People's Positivity. Gonna bring everybody back to the show.
Rise up. I got Liza. I'll get Liza. I'll get Curtis. I want them to join us. Nope, I don't like Curtis. Bye, Curtis. Hi, Curtis. Bye, Curtis. Hi, Curtis.
Just want to say, rise up, Atlanta. Let's go.
Hey. I like it. I like it. We loved having them. I always just love seeing a family come together, get creative. Because again, it really goes back to support our mantra that we have here at the Work From Home Network TV, which is to be creative, right? It's all about creatives for creatives to stay creative. So I love that.
All right. With that said, it's time to talk a little quarantine and chill. So I'm going to tell you what's got going on later today. We've got a special episode of Biscuits and Gravy, which is our movie review show talking about our tops in different genres. So today the theme is war movies. So here's our special war movie edition. And of course we have our special guests, Lieutenant Troyer and Rear Admiral Smitty. I'm Colonel Gravy, or actually, yeah, I'm Colonel Gravy. And then we got Major Biscuits. It's going to be fantastic. That'll be starting at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock my time here in the Central. We're going to be talking all things war movies. To give you an update of what I've been quarantining and chilling, I watched War Dogs. I watched a lot of war movies, including Hacksaw Ridge, Tigerland, and I watched another episode of Ray Donovan. So there's a lot of great TV on right now, and since we're doing war movies, I felt like living the theme of war movies. Good job. Good job. All right, so that is our theme of the day. Again, that'll be at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And, of course, I'm going to kick it over now to Liza, another part of our Quarantine and Chill. Oh, last thing, we'll be giving out $5 Venmos throughout the show for our war movie trivia, so stay buff. Liza.
Show me the money.
Show me
the money. What I want to know, though, is, Anthony, is where do you open the window to get extra hours to watch all these films? Like you and Beyonce and Illuminati. I don't know. What is going on there?
So I am a multitasker. I cannot do 3 things at once. I can do 2 things at once perfectly. So I can watch while I'm working. So if it's in the background, much to my girlfriend's chagrin, I have my laptop on me at all times, and I'm also able to focus. It's actually a special talent.
Oh, but that sucks then. She's not getting any love from you. She's like, wait, because you said not 3. So she's the one that's missing out. That's the chill part, the quarantine and chill part. I don't know. I feel like somehow she didn't win.
She might agree. Anyways.
So going on to the rest of what we have going on with Quarantine and Chill, we wanted to just take some time to take a pause, right, during the great pause, to talk about exactly what everybody is doing out, or did, I should say, this last week. And we had everything from Trillo Fest, who showed a variety of different acts, the musical acts across all genres, pop up over on their YouTube, which was really great, as well as Farm Aid. I personally really enjoyed watching Dave Matthews perform, as well as John Mellencamp, and really connect. And I also just love the vulnerability that these artists showed as they themselves, as they did it for Farm Aid, raising money for them. We're like, listen, we're at home. Dave Matthews was particularly handsome and adorable when he was like, I have lyrics to my words here. Please don't think I don't know my songs. I've been singing them as long as I have, but there's something very odd singing just to a phone when I'm used to singing to a big crowd. So much to the earlier comment of SNL, of course, talking about the fact that I guess they're not used to performing in front of others. So it's really cool to see how everyone is adapting, how everyone is pivoting, not panicking. In addition to that, as we talked about at the top of the show, we did see SNL go remote. Now, one other big thing that aside from the Zoom skit that they did, if you will, that really is making a lot of traction is the fact that Tom Hanks joined them on the show to host remotely. And also the fact that Bernie Sanders, was part of the parody with Larry David. And funny enough, interesting enough, that everyone had called it as of 4 minutes ago, Bernie Sanders has officially endorsed Joe Biden in the political race. So it's interesting because all the gifts were already popping up from this weekend, and they're obviously going to keep tying on as Bernie continues to be the gift that gives on giving. So just in terms of your quarantine and chill, if y'all didn't watch any of these things, it's why we have our live streaming guide. We encourage you at home to not only stay tuned, but also let us know. Feel free to drop a comment below. Is there something that should be on our radar that isn't? Please let us know below as we're all watching movies, as we're all staying connected, figuring out the new shows that we can watch and do. We definitely want to hear from you. So that's it for today's Quarantine and Chill. Hey.
Well done.
What we do?
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we're going to go, I think, straight from there over to one of my favorite segments of the day.
Word diet.
Word diet. Yes, everybody. Because the words that you say and you believe truly is the most important meal of the day that you have, especially if these days you're forgetting to eat. So fun times. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to drop the boys off for a second to go to one of our favorite parts of the day, which is to pick out our card. And of course, the deck that we're working with is the Well-Being Cards by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So we're going with this one. I am learning that all problems resolve themselves. Oh, that's good. When you have a problem, a desire exudes forth from you, and source hears it and answers it immediately. Once you remove your attention from the problem, you then allow the solution. Give birth to the question and let it go, and allow the answer to flow. Okay, I don't know about y'all, but literally Frozen just popped into my mind. Let it go, let it go. But this is a perfect card for the time that we're in, because I think one of the things that we're all learning as we're learning to adapt is really understanding that yes, things are coming to us very fast and quickly. And some of us are even working more in quarantine than we were outside of quarantine, right? But it's okay to take a pause. It's okay to be gentle on yourself. It's okay to say, that's it. I can't handle anything else on my conveyor belt. And that's really where the challenge comes on to you, to lean on others within your immediate team or find some other people that you can come together. I think people that might not normally be into, necessarily helping, at this point actually are, because they too want to stay creative, right? So I would suggest that you find someone that you can collaborate with, do something creative, continue to use your energy to move forward. One big thing, if you haven't already done your taxes, you could do your taxes at home. I mean, we're going to have more advice on that. One of the things that we've seen come through is people wanting resources. So we actually have a guest coming on Wednesday to chat with us a little bit more about financial resources. I know the stimulus package is another thing that everybody's trying to find answers to. Feel free. If these are things that you want, leave us a comment down below. We want to know. But the biggest thing is to take a breath, go with the flow, know that we really are in this together and that everybody's just trying to help everybody else. So have grace with yourself as you continue to extend grace to others. Now, with that said, I also want to take a little bit of time to talk about what's happening tomorrow on our Spanglish show, which is Let's Talk About It Live. Super excited because following up on the success of our happy hour show that Aaron and I hosted on Friday, we had a great time. So if you didn't catch it live, feel free to head over to our Facebook page or our YouTube page and you can catch the replay. But we made a themed, as we do every week, a themed cocktail. And this last week's cocktail was a michelada with a COVID-19 twist. We made it with a Corona. We also added in, hold up, Aaron, I'm going to have to bring you up because I want everybody to say it because I know you could say it, Aaron. Do. What did we have inside of it?
The
Saladino.
Saladino.
Okay. Aaron still has to work on it. He's still going to work on it. He's still going to work on it. It's totally fine. But he has more time to do it. I just love him. For our Spanglish show tomorrow, Let's Talk About It Live, we'll be making our own version with a twist of a themed specialty michelada, which is a very famous Mexican drink. So we're teaching you at home how to make it super delicious, super easy, as well as we'll have Gentified's actor from the TV show that's on Netflix, Gentified, JJ Soria, will be joining us. And yeah, then we have some DJ and some other things popping and cracking. So that'll be here on the Work From Home Network TV at noon. And we would love to see you. So that, everybody.
Hola.
Yeah, that is the word diet right there. Bam.
So I can't wait to try that drink. What is it called? Salmonella? Love it.
Delicious. That was cute. Michelada with the saladito inside. Have you guys ever had a saladito?
Saladito?
It's not paleo. It's not paleo.
So actually it is paleo. Fun times. It's a dried prune. It's a dried prune. So the prune itself is what goes inside. And so our Chef Rick was explaining to Aaron, that was our Spanish word of the week, that the way you say it is pretend that you're saying salad and then add ito, even though it's not spelled that way. But I was like, all right, we'll go with that. So it was super cool. I had never had it with the saladito before, but I will say growing up, that was like one of your go-to candies that you had. So it was kind of nice to mix it in with your drink, give it a little spicy punch.
My Spanish sentence of the week is going to be, get me out of here.
And then it's like, no.
Excellent. All right, so I think it's time for Streaming Guide. What do we got coming up, Liza?
Well, before we go to Streaming Guide, I think we're also going to talk, or are we going to do that first? I think we're going to talk about some comments because we've had
what do we got?
Anthony, I put my camo hat on. I'm ready for biscuits and gravy. I'm ready for war. And Curtis, you said show you the money. I got you covered. Covered. With the
Big Daddy.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yo, PJ is going to be calling you for that.
I got a comment. They sent it to me. So I'll let you do your comments and I'll read this one.
Oh, man, they sent you a direct comment. All right, let's see what we got going on over here in the comments section here. Quarantine and Chill has been great. Look at that. Marquis, what they popped on. Great information with Quarantine and Chill there. Liza, you're getting some support from Kelly. Thank you, Kelly, for always tuning in as normal. Gotta love that. And we are going to move into one more section here because we're going to get it up and running next week. Gotta happen.
Hey, Curtis has his comment he wants to share first.
This was my it's a comment that was sent to me by Georgia State. Oh, no, that's my degree. I'm wondering what I'm doing with my life. All right, keep going.
I thought that was funny. Anyways.
Thank you, Anthony. I love you.
Right. So, Aaron, what is the new thing we're doing?
Oh, man. I don't even know anymore. Where are we?
Show us what we got.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's where we're going. Next week, we're kicking it off. We're going to get some talent on the screen to have some fun with us. Show us what you got. We're searching the internet for those hidden virtual gems. We know you're out there. We know you are out there. So if you've got some talents, you're a magician, you can do weird things with your biceps like Curtis, whatever it is, we want to see you on our show. We want you to show us what we got that is coming up.
I was just pointing.
Liza.
Yes.
Take us out of here, sweet Mother Mary.
Sorry. Love you, Mom.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. This is great. Now, before we leave, we do have our live streaming guide. So, of course, if you missed it earlier today, Aaron was on with JJ with Wingman to Greatness. And let us know what's going on, Aaron, on Wednesday with Wingman to Greatness. What can we expect?
What's coming up on Wednesday with Wingman to Greatness? Well, we've been talking about a lot of different topics. We've talked about limiting beliefs. We've talked about like roadblocks, listening to your gut. Today, we talked about just how hard things are and how to really deal with that struggle. So on Wednesday, you're just going to get more of our staple, more energy, more positivity, more direction, just trying to help you guys level up and really soar into your greatness. So that's what's coming up on Wednesday.
I love it. Y'all can listen to Ciara's Level Up as you watch. That kicks off at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Of course, we'll be back for Power Hour Live at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Let's Talk About It Live is on tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Biscuits and Gravy, as Anthony told us later on today, is war themed. So get your ready. And then last but not least, sliding into Friday, we have happy hour at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So with that, I want to give a big shout out to our guests today. They were all so fantastic, have me so pumped to just, be able to collaborate, continue to create, come from a place of creativity. A big shout out to all of you watching us live. And of course, those of you who are watching the replay, get involved, leave a comment down below. We'd love to feature you. We'd love to interact for you. But for now, that is it. On behalf of Power Hour Live, we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Tell me the truth. I know we've gone our separate ways. Can we get love back? I know we've had our better days. Can we get love back?
Okay.